Assalamu alaikum. This heart-melting story is about a sister formerly known as Era, who was born into a family of a Jewish mother and an Armenian Christian father in communist Russia. What a combination, mashallah. However, this combination could not and did not stop the plan of Allah for her life. Alhamdulillah for making us Muslims. When Allah chooses to guide a person, nothing can stop it, not even being born in communist Russia, not being born by a Jewish mother, and definitely not having a Christian father. MashaAllah. This sister was born in Russia. Her mother is Jewish and her father is a Christian. However, being Russia's communists meant that they never really practiced their religions. In fact, they mostly tilted towards atheism. It's pretty standard for some Russians to rate communism over religions. Irrespective of this, the sister attended a Jewish elementary school and spoke Jewish fluently during her early life. Things began to change when she had to move to New York. There, she lost touch with the Jewish language after many years without it. She was non religious, a result of her upbringing, and sometimes she played with the assumption that there is no God. However, a conscious look at herself, her palm, and the artistry it displays, she concluded that someone superior must have made her that way. Having realized that 90% of global population believes in the existence of God, she said to herself, why won't she? She established her belief in God, but that was the first step. How to proceed from there was not clear. The religious confusion she had in her upbringing didn't help her either. A university is a miniature of a larger environment, a collection of people of different diversity. Meeting and interacting with these people is a must. Some leave no impact, some a passing impact, while some leave a lasting impact on our lives. As a student of LIU, Long Island University, New York, she met people from diverse backgrounds, religions, and races as anyone would in a university environment. It was there that she met a Muslim classmate named Hassam. On recognizing she's a Jew and non religious, Hussam said to her that he would like her to listen to a story, and she should become a Muslim. A story of a Jewish man who converted to Islam. Being a person with an open mind, she agreed. The brother went in search of the tape he'd promised but couldn't find it. Instead of giving up, he found an alternative. The next time she saw him, Hussam told her he couldn't find the tape he originally intended to give her, but he had an alternative. The alternative was a two-part tape of a Christian archbishop who had converted to Islam. She accepted the CDs. At the time, she lived in Brooklyn, New York, and worked in New Jersey. Anyone familiar with this environment would know it's a long drive, mostly in slow traffic. For about 3 weeks, she listened to these tapes during her trips to and from work to keep her company in traffic. The more she listened, the more she became increasingly more interested and fascinated with the story. By the end of 3 weeks, she'd made up her mind to take the Shahada. Thankfully, the tape contained a short guide to taking the Shahada personally. Then and there, she became a Muslim, right there in her car, on a trip from New York to New Jersey 25 years ago. MashaAllah. Early struggles as a new Muslimah. Most struggles new Muslims in secular Western countries, especially the US, faces are associated with food, dressing for Muslimas, and reintegration into the society. These were her most prevailing struggles too, having to leave haram food and wear the hijab. Alhamdulillah for Islam, new converts are under no compulsion to dump everything that have been part of their life overnight because they reverted to Islam. Instead, they're allowed to gradually find alternatives where necessary and drop those without alternatives over some time, provided they have honest intention in doing that. For the food part, this was a bit easier. She replaced bacon with turkey, but for the hijab, she didn't wear one for the first 5 years, even though she knows she's supposed to. This partly due to reintegration fears. She was shy and she feared what her friends, families, and everyone who had known her without the hijab would say when they saw her wearing one. When people who know her as a Muslim compared her with other Muslim women in hijab, she always admitted she was the wrongly dressed one. This continued until she made the bold decision one day and went to work adorned with the hijab. Her friends and colleagues were surprised when she herself felt a big relief that she finally took the bold step. Many who didn't know she was a Muslim could tell from her dressing, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, she's now been wearing hijab for over 20 years and she's very comfortable in it. Relationship with non-Muslim family and friends. Her relationship with her family remains cordial, although they are not completely happy with her decision to become a Muslim. She takes a firm stand on her decision, stating that no one can dictate what she does and how she does it religiously. She has made conscious efforts to reconnect with friends she'd lost during her early days as a new revert as she becomes a better Muslim herself. Now living in Florida, a state with its share of vices and secularity, she's become a good ambassador of Islam. Many people have asked her about Islam, and each time she does her best to tell them what it is all about. She tries to paint the correct picture different from what the mainstream media makes the world Islam entails. She is confident to enter anywhere and to speak to anyone about Islam and other things because, like every other Muslim, whatever will happen to any human has already been written by Allah. So there is no fear of the unknown. You can watch Sister Era's interview on The Dean Show. We'll link it in the description.